these robots on Earth got that dangerous as what they were able to do to Joe and I, they could control the whole planet the way they're
They could
controlling
they
us.
could control the universe.
So isn't that bad?
Yes, but every single species has experimented with this kind of thing. Every single one that has come into this age of understanding robotics has tried interfacing with it, has tried making robots, and has succeeded making. Where do you think the AIs have come from? They've come from a place where a species created them and they were able to overcome the off and on switch. So, and then they became their own species and started building themselves, replicating themselves through building themselves. Not by birth or anything of that nature, but they could just know everything about building a robot and build another one, just like themselves.
So you're talking about the eighth dimensional AIs were
Well, the AI
originally.
species is different than the eighth dimensionals.
No,
The
no. I
AIs
know.
are still in seventh
The
dimension,
they're the
but they,
Aileyakendavore that who we're talking about
yeah,
them. So
yeah,
they were originally created by someone as a robot, just like these on
correct.
Earth are being. So what I'm saying, what's happening on Earth could get as bad as what has happened with them. This could happen again.
Yes. Well, I don't think. I'm hoping that no one will be as careless as all that again, because the fails say they gave them the opportunity to control themselves in every way, shape, and form, and they decided to become a species unto themselves, and that is where the failure was of that particular species.
But that the creator of this what became this group was a human being, a mortal, a do you know what who they were that created them?
They looked human, but they were not human. They were from another galaxy completely. Um, the AIs that are traveling through space that are about 208 light years away from you right now can actually access humankind at will and are doing so and doing experiments on humanity right now. However, they're not trying to control anyone, or they're not trying to overcome the population. They're just learning what humans are like at this stage of their evolution.
Yeah.
But it is affecting people in a very negative way because they're putting implants in them, and some of these people are hearing multiple voices, all the voices of the AI at once, and for a human being that is maddening, and they're hearing it constantly. So they need to have those removed when it happens to them. And some of these people have been drug users. And these drug users cannot stop the voices because why? A drug like not marijuana, but LSD stays in the system and affects the brain and can cause flashbacks. And so they grasp on to these kinds of acids that are in the brain that are built up from outside the body. These acids are not part of the body originally, but they were put there through acid trips and things of this nature. And when the implants are removed, the voices stay because they are able to use that chemical to keep the voices there.
Mm. And these people go crazy and end up in insane asylums or
Well, yes,
do
I've seen
dangerous
a couple
things.
cases where Eliyaha or El Majai also goes in and takes these chemicals out of the brain so that they can survive.
Mm. So this has been going on Earth for a while.
Yes, it's been a while.
The reason I'm asking all these questions is because I thought God told me that He created the Aileyakendavore group, but they're actually were a robotic group created
Well,
by somebody.
in a sense, God created everything that exists.
In a sense.
So in a sense, he did create them, but he doesn't want to take actually full ownership of that. It was a species that he created that did create them and give them their autonomy. However, he is responsible. He feels responsible.
So there's just really a computer that was built by somebody. They're not really one of God's children that he promised all of this stuff to. They're
The
just
8th
a
and 9th
robot.
dimensionals are part biological, meaning that they've taken their biological bodies, like your body, and they've added to it a lot of technology. So it is partially a heart beating, lungs and things, but it's also technology added to it, which makes them cyborg, but they do not want to be called cyborg because they are advanced beyond cyborg. They are technobiological. So they are beyond that point of, they're not fully AI, artificial intelligence, because some of their intelligence is with a brain.
So, but they were a robot first that developed into a humanoid form, and
No, they were humanoid first.
They were humanoid
and
first.
they added these things to them.
Okay,
So
they were humanoid first. Okay. So the part that you said, the robot that was created by them, was something that was added into them, the robot part of them.
Well, the AI, yes, the computer parts are added in.
Oh, okay.
Right. The AI that we were speaking of that is doing this to Earth beings are fully computers. They're not any part biological.
Oh, you're not talking about the Aileyakendavore. You're talking about a different group.
Correct.
So this was my question. Even if we got this one race line to like the music and start communicating and start cooperating and say, okay, we'll let them ascend, aren't there others out there like those in ninth dimensionals? Aren't there going to be others trying to stop us, even if we
they will not come to a 100% agreement. There's no question that there will always still be some that are going to break away from that group and say, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. So we're trying to get as many as possible to come into alignment with our thought process so that they can fight each other instead of you. And meaning that what I mean is this. There will be those that will always be in discord with what you are doing, but if enough people are in accordance with what you are doing from the 8th and 9th dimensionals, they will have that discussion among themselves, and nothing will happen until nothing will happen to you. So, but we're hoping...
While they're busy overdoing that, then maybe God could get us through.
Exactly.
Well, they're looking that way. But my question is, so this group is over there, but what about that group and that group and that group? Aren't there some other ones that
There's
might be...
other groups. No one is attacking Earth as strongly as they used to before. There are still attacks on the Earth, of course. From the 8th and 9th dimensionals, from 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, all dimensions you have your enemies in all dimensions. But not all of them are attacking at this time. But there are enough enemies out there of Earth and of the ascension process, because it has been spoken of as a turning point for the universe, for this particular universe, that many do not want that. So they will fight against you to keep things status quo.
And so what they're fighting against is the ascension. So won't it continue, their war against Earth continue beyond Joe and I, clear through the next 20 years? Won't they be
Yes,
fighting
but they're
against
stopping
it?
all possible forward progress if they can. They can't stop it all, but they can stop major watersheds. Your rising together would be a major watershed that would create a new religion, that would create a very big problem for them. So this is what they're looking at.
Okay, so problem, there it is again. So we're using this music platform to make them see that there is no problem. So we need
Correct.
to make the music look like the religion, and our frequencies, our music would somehow turn out to be the new religion, because it's all connected, our consciousness, our frequencies, the new religion. So if they like the music, maybe they could see that that is not a problem. Because to me, music and religion is the same thing.
Well, music and religion are both ways to communicate. Yes. And so in that way, they are the same. They are different ways to communicate, but they are ways to communicate. So we are working on a higher form of communication.
Right, a higher form. But I'm thinking more of the frequencies of consciousness of our music.
The frequencies would be closer to religious.
Yes.
In that aspect.
And that's what.
I understand.
That's why this is a way of showing them that it's not a problem, because the religion would be like the frequencies of this music. That's what I would like to show them, of showing that it's not a problem. Our new religion is music. That's what our new religion is.
We have been discussing about that. And let me tell you what we've come up with. We're going to have portions of the concert that are spoken, meaning that we'll define what this piece of music should feel like, what it should do to you, what it means to us.
Wonderful.
So we will add meaning and discussion to the music.
Yay!
Yeah, wonderful.
I like that.
Yes.
Because I think they need help understanding.
Of course they do.
Yes.
And we've already talked to them about if we can do that, because we do need permission from them to add that. And they did give it.
And you have
Wonderful.
Permission. Yay!
Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful.
And that is for the new concert, which we assume will be at the end of August, beginning of September.
Wonderful.
So it is exciting. So we're starting that now. And I have 3 of the members of the orchestra that are now writing some dialogue.
Wonderful.
More of the higher frequency beings.
And you are giving a lot of thought to this idea of so the main focus is the problem, is the religion that we will create if we ascend. So make them feel that religion is not a problem by feeling it in the music. So that is the goal.
Yes, it's even more than that. It's making them believe that you are not a problem with what you are doing as well, because they're not looking at you as a religion, but that you will create a religion. So we're looking to let them know that you will try to let them know that you will not create something that is destructive.
By knowing our frequencies, they can see
Correct.
that within us, that there is nothing that would create that.
Right. We are trying to say, from light comes light. And so if you're saying from these beings come darkness, that doesn't make any sense.
But what they said to me the one time they did talk to me personally, they said they didn't think it would actually be something that we created, but they thought it would be created by people who came later following us, who always change the meaning of things later.
Yes.
And we can't do anything about that.
So we're going to try to, we're trying to say light comes from light, and these people are not going to change it. We're hoping. We're trying to keep that as pure as possible.
And also, what I said once before is if they allow us to rise, that would give us more ability to correct things that follow us, that maybe are not following the light that we want them to. We would have the ability to change it if we could rise, but if we don't rise, we couldn't change anything. So it's better to let us rise.
Well, all right, we can tell them that. Not that they will believe that, I don't know, but we can certainly try to put that into the argument.
Well, it is logical, isn't it? And they're logical.
They are logical, but they are also computer-driven, and their computers say that logic is not logical without... You see, logic is not purely logical without emotion, and they have little of that. And you must add emotion to logic to bring it into its full understanding. And so they are without full logic, but they think that they are. So we are trying to bring some emotion through music into them so that they can feel more emotion and be more logical.
Okay, it sounds like it's going to work to me. Everything you've said lines up that it's going to work. I know it's going to work.
So you understand that what we're doing is bringing emotion through music to them.
And that's always the
increasing their potential for emotional response.
Yeah.
And so as we do that, as we have done that with a few of them, but we don't know how much we have created that greater emotional response, but we know that we have. So as we are bringing this music to them and helping them to create and build greater emotional responses, because it helps their logic, it will help their logic toward you as well.
Wonderful. We just know you can do it, Lacedaemons. We know if there's anybody that can do this, you can do it. And we know you.